Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Leibovit of the Leibovit VR newsletters, and this is a Leibovit VR tutorial here on TradeStation for Monday morning, March 16th. We're going to be looking at GW Pharmaceuticals in just a moment, GWPH. As a reminder, we have various products available at the Leibovit VR newsletters. In particular, I like to focus on the Vice letter where we cover our cannabinoid and syn stocks. This is a new product for us, and that's our focus because of the developing opportunities in the cannabinoid and syn stock space. So I would check that out. GW Pharmaceuticals is posted at the Vice letter. We also have, of course, our VR Platinum service, which covers specific recommendations on just about all other stocks and markets, short-term oriented, daily update, but intraday updates are likely specifically related to individual stocks. We have the Silver service, which is our daily market commentary without specific recommendations. We have our VR Gold letter, which covers all the major futures markets, in particular, of course, the precious metals and crude oil. Our Leibovit VR Forecaster is our cyclical forecast put out once a year based on our cycle forecast for some of the major markets. And don't forget about our Trader's Book of Volume, the definitive guide to volume trading, which is basically a comprehensive guide of all the major volume technical indicators. Here on TradeStation with the Trading App Store, the Mark Leibovit volume reversal indicators are available. It is available on a free trial, I believe, for the first month. It covers our three major versions of the volume reversal. We have our sequential version, which is what I use in these videos, which posts all the negative and positive volume reversals. And we created two other versions, the directional, which filters out repetitive volume reversals, and the two-day version, which is based on the premise that following a volume reversal, you tend to get movement in the direction of volume for a couple of days. But I encourage you to sign up. I've kept this indicator proprietary for more than 3 decades. It's not generally available, and it's the key to my success over the years in terms of short-term as well as intermediate trading. As far as GW Pharmaceuticals, let's look at it here. First, I'm putting up the weekly chart. Way back last summer, the stock touched the $111 area, and then it's promptly sold off into October, dropping about 50 points, and now it's coming back up the right side. Just recently, well, of course, you had a positive VR last week, but back on January, it looks like January 9th, a Leibovit positive VR was formed on the weekly, which in theory could have gotten you long here for the last several weeks. And recall that I used the 533 stochastic both on the daily and weekly charts. And when the 533 is rising and we get a positive VR, that tends to get me long for a trade. So useful collaborative tool, not the primary focus, but it's a good momentum indicator and something to pay close attention to. And you can see where even a few weeks prior, let's see, this was back on December 5th, you had a Leibovit negative VR declining 533, and there were several weeks to the downside for a trade there. But this is a big picture view. And the reason I bring this up is based on the swing count idea from many, many decades ago that I learned as a chance, and again emphasize the word chance, that if a stock like this drops from 111 down to 50 and comes back through 111, it could exceed that high by the amount that it dropped, or 50 points, which means this could be 150, 160 dollar stock. So definitely something to pay attention to. Now let's look at the daily chart. We had a nice Leibovit positive VR on March 4th, and another one midweek last week on March 11th. Both confirmed with the rising 533 stochastic, and then we had this big move on Friday, and 11 points to the upside. And what's interesting about that is there was no news tied to that move, nothing that I could find. And generally, when you see a stock moving on news, that's from a trading perspective a reason that you might want to go the opposite direction. So maybe something bigger is happening here. There has been talk about a possible takeover for a company like this because it is a real company, actually has some earnings which most pharmaceutical companies don't have, and it is in a very unique space, the cannabinoid space. So something could be happening here. Maybe they're getting closer to an FDA approval. In any event, very interesting situation here. On an investment basis, I have no problem buying the stock here. On a trading basis, it'd be nice if it pulled back 4 or 5 points, but the stock has been acting well and the intermediate trend has been higher, so no reason to run from this thing. Meanwhile, again, I'm reminding you, And maybe you don't need to be reminded, but the indicator is available here on TradeStation, so please sign up. You won't regret that you have. It's a wonderful tool. That's been the key to my success these past 30, 35 years in terms of identifying short-term trades. And I appreciate you checking in. This is Mark Leibovit of the Leibovit VR newsletters. We'll speak to you on our next recording. Again, thank you. Speak to you then.